So after Republican Governor Ron Desantis used immigrants as political props by illegally jetting them to Martha's Vineyard, Fox News and other Republicans are desperately trying to defend DeSantis. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. Well, Ron DeSantis' stunt was shown for what it is. Nothing more than a political stunt that was using unwitting people down on their luck as political pawns in a PR maneuver. DeSantis notified Fox News and had a videographer on board the airplanes. Who he didn't notify were the people whose neighborhood these immigrants were going to be sent to. How did the neighbors respond? Well, they responded in the way that you would think Christians would do, which is to take care of the people, treat them with dignity, feed them, and find them a place to stay. Exactly the opposite of what Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott are trying to do. But boy, has Fox News and the other MAGA enablers been doing their best to bend over backwards to support Ron DeSantis in this effort. Check out this video over here.
Massachusetts calling in the National Guard to deal with the, quote, humanitarian crisis after just 50 migrants.
Now, just to point out here, I love how they have the graphic of Biden's border crisis. It just shows how they're trying to turn this into some political issue here. Let's keep watching.
Arrived in Martha's Vineyard. Now, California Governor Gavin Newsom wants GOP governors like Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida and Texas Governor Greg Abbott to be charged with kidnapping for relocating migrants to liberal cities.
The issue isn't that they took them to liberal cities. That's not the issue. The issue is that they lied to these migrants, telling them they were taking them somewhere and then basically taking them somewhere else. That is kidnapping, and it could lead to criminal and civil liability. Let's keep watching.
So what charges should the federal government face then for secretly transporting illegal immigrants across the country? You know, that's been going on for the past year. Our next...
Okay, let's talk about the differences here. What the federal government has done in an effort to reduce any burden that there might be on any of the border areas as a result of immigrants coming across the border is to basically take these immigrants to other parts of the country where those immigrants were housed and fed and given places to stay and given jobs and taken care of. And in each case, the immigrants were fully aware of what was happening. The difference that what DeSantis did, on the other hand, was he basically lied to these immigrants, told them he was taking them to Boston, apparently, where supposedly they were going to be able to get jobs and where the legal proceedings that they've been going through would be transferred to, something he was not empowered to do, and then took them to Martha's Vineyard, where there were no facilities to care for them, and where the people literally came out of their homes to take care of these people themselves. Again, doing the Christian thing. Kind of a difference there. Let's keep watching.
Yes, exposed the Biden administration's secret migrant flights to his state. Former Westchester County New York executive Rob Astorino joins us now. Rob, great to see you this morning. The word that's being thrown around, and I believe California Governor Gavin Newsom has used as kidnapping. So, are those to be applied universally?
Definitely federal kidnapping charge.
Okay, big difference. Again, this would be the equivalent of basically going up to a child with an ice cream cone and saying, hey, why don't you get into this car here and we'll go buy some toys, and then taking them somewhere else. That's what was done to the migrants by Governor DeSantis. When the federal government has taken them other places, they've taken them to be cared for, which is something that you'd think the people who claim that they've been in these border areas suffering should be grateful for. Let's keep watching.
Charges, definitely human trafficking by the Biden administration. We can go on and on and on. We probably run out of crimes to charge them with. But I think, I just want to go back to what you guys were talking about before. This is presentism by the progressives, because a year ago when I was talking about this, showed the video of what was happening, they were dead silent. All they did was call me a racist and a hater and all this other nonsense.
Okay, well, we're going to get to his being a racist and a hater in a few minutes here. But the thing I want to point out again is the contrast with how the liberals and the progressives that they refer to so condescendingly treated these people when they arrived, which was they treated them with dignity. They fed them. They cared for them. They found them a home. Exactly the types of things that these Republicans are trying to refuse to them. Let's keep watching.
And it was happening right into our own neighborhoods here in Westchester County. It also went to Stewart International Airport, these flights, which is a New York State-controlled Port Authority airport. So Governor Hochul was in on it. And so this is nothing new to us. These migrants are coming into our schools. They're coming into our hospitals. They are getting into housing. All these benefits, they're all.
Oh my God, migrants getting into our homes and our schools and our hospitals and getting benefits. Now who's the racist now? He wonders why we called him a racist and a hater? Let's keep watching.
Already been getting for a year. So now that they go to Martha's Vineyard, and by the way, great job, Governor DeSantis.
Okay, let's echo the fact, by the way, and I've done videos on this before, so I'm not going to belabor the point, but the evidence is pretty clear that immigrants actually help our economy, and they contribute more to the economy than they take out in the form of benefits. But God forbid that we let the facts get in the way of a good story. Let's keep watching.
The progressives can't take it, and so now they're going ballistic, which proves two things. One, they admit there's a problem, and two, they are inadequate, they are inept to handle this problem.
So, Rob, in your estimation, explain the difference in reaction from a year ago to today. Is it simply that now the other political party is doing it?
No question. So, yeah, I had a press conference August 13th of 21 outside Westchester County Airport, and I had video, which you have used at nighttime, these flights coming in, but also at broad daylight we caught some, and we followed the buses of where they were being transported all over the place.
Yeah, buses where they were being transported to places where they were going to be housed and fed and cared for and given jobs, and where the federal government does, by the way, have the authority to transfer their cases to the local immigration courts so that they aren't in a position, which some of these immigrants are going to be in now that were shipped to Martha's Vineyard, where they can't get back to court for the cases that are pending, and could result in them being deported, even though they've got a legitimate case that should be brought before the immigration court. Let's keep watching.
Just getting into cars. The buses would stop at a thruway rest stop, and there would be all these waiting cars for them to get into, and off they would go.
Yeah, imagine this, that they had made arrangements ahead of time for places for these people to go. In other words, exactly the opposite of what was done in Martha's Vineyard. Let's keep watching.
And we got no answers whatsoever. And when I said this and demanded answers to our questions, I was called a hater, a racist, all the typical racist.
He is a hater and a racist. He's the guy who just complained about the fact that, oh, those dirty migrants coming into our schools and our homes. Oh, my God. If that's not racism, I don't know what is. Let's keep watching.
Stuff that they say. But I pursued. I wrote a letter to President Biden February 1st of this year. Still, zip, nothing, no answers whatsoever. I asked the governor of New York to trigger a law here that she has the ability to demand that any person here illegally, any foreign national that comes in here, must register with the state. Actually, it's an alien, it's called in the New York law.
Okay, just for the record here, that New York law is unconstitutional under the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, so that might be why she's not raising it. And by the way, this guy's a guy who envisions himself as a potential governor of New York, which is why he's continually attacking Governor Hochul. Let's keep watching.
You must register with New York State within 1 day. That would stop it in New York, but of course she's not doing it because New York's a sanctuary state and city. And the same thing with Mayor Adams in New York City. They've been coming into New York City through Catholic Charities and other non-government organizations for the last year, but not a peep. But now...
Imagine that. Immigrants are coming into New York City and being supported by Catholic charities. Ooh, isn't that outrageous? Let's keep watching.
They have to deal with what everyone else on the southern border has to deal with, and it is a massive burden.
You see, this is where sometimes when you listen to Fox News, there's just no internal consistency in what they're saying. On the one hand, they're mad that people are being shipped to other parts of the country. On the other hand, they're complaining about the fact that people on the southern border might have had their services overwhelmed by the number of immigrants coming in. So which is it? Do you want people to be moved elsewhere so that the burden is shared, or do you want them just to stay there? You can't have it both ways. Let's keep watching.
That we're not prepared to do, nor should we.
Really quickly, Rob, less than 30 seconds. How do you think it ends up playing politically? There are many on the left that are saying this has backfired on Ron DeSantis. They actually see a victory in this, or at least pretend to see a victory in this fight.
Not at all. You have normal people of all political stripes saying, hey, what the hell is going on here? I can tell you in my kids' high school, in their classrooms, they've got 5 or so each. 20 new kids in the classroom that don't speak any English. They're getting services. Parents of all stripes are saying enough is enough.
Rob Astorino, thank you so much.
Could this guy be any more racist? Here he is talking about, oh my God, there are these migrants in our schools who can't speak English. I got news for him. They're children with families and people who can contribute in the future. And yet, oh my God, because they have brown skin and they don't speak English when they first get to our classrooms, they're these dirty immigrants who shouldn't be treated as people. That right there is the difference between progressives and these conservatives. And the sad truth is, I'm sure he'd be the first to say what a great Christian he is. Because, of course, the Bible talks about how we should crap all over immigrants who don't have the same color skin and don't speak the same language as us, right? Well, if you want to see more about how immigration is a net positive to America, something that the people on the right don't want you to hear, check out this video over here that I did a while ago. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.